Well, hello everyone. It's Cricket Claus, your friendly neighborhood Mrs. Claus, down here in San Diego, California. I am coming today for a video. We're going to make some amigurumi. Is that how you say that? I always say it wrong, but I'm going to keep saying it like that. We're going to make some Pop-Tarts, and I made these for a Comic-Con event a little while ago, and they sold like hotcakes at that event. I think I sold more of those than I sold anything else. So I think we're going to go into that today. I have not written that pattern down, so if you see me writing with my firefighter pen on my paper, it's because I am going to physically write out the pattern today as well while we're doing this. So let's get started. It's pretty easy and it's a really quick pattern, so if you like it, definitely make as many of them as you can. They're so much fun to make. They're so easy. And I mean, if I was to say there was anything easier than this Pop-Tart pattern, I don't know what it is. So let's get started and yeah, make us some little stuffies. Okay, for the video purposes, I just pulled out a regular tan thread or yarn. This is a basic size 4 worsted weight yarn. I'm going to write that down on my pattern over here. With tan worsted weight yarn. All right. I have to remember how I did this because I made them that one event and I made a whole bunch of them and I did them like back to back to back, and I just kept doing the same exact thing over and over again. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to start with a slip stitch. Start with a slip knot. If you don't know how to make a slip knot by now and you've been following me for a while, what are you doing with your life? Okay. Now we are going to chain 14, I believe, if I remember correctly. We'll see if it works out that way when we get done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think that's what we did. Ooh, I got twisted in there. We're going to have to do that again. Bam! Frog it out back to that slip knot and chain the 12, or 14. Chain the 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. And don't forget, you can frog as much as you need to. It doesn't matter. So now we're going to do single crochets. We should be able to do 12 of them across here from the second stitch from the hook, and just do 12 single crochets the whole way back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Correct. 12 of them. Boom. Easy peasy. 12 single crochets. Then you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Let me write all of that down that we just did. Chain 14, turn, single crochet into second space from hook, then 11 more single crochet for a total of 12. Chain turn work, 12 single crochet. All right, now we are going to do that 12 single crochet. Like I said, we chained, turned our work, then we're going to single crochet the whole way back across for, I believe it's 11 rows. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is going to get repetitive. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, chain, turn your work. All right. And like I said, we're going to do that for 11 rows. Once we get to row 11, I'll see how it looks and we'll go from there. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be 11 rows. So for YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and speed that up and do it in a time lapse. Okay, so we got to 11, and as you can see, this is quite short for a Pop-Tart. I think we're going to have to do at least 5 more rows. So let's do that, and we'll come back. Okay, so 16 rows is about just right. If you wanted to do 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, something like that, you could. But I think we're going to stick with 16. That's going to make us a little short little guy Pop-Tart. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut off that. We're going to make another one exactly like it. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so once we get the second one done, don't fasten off yet. Leave it on, leave the loop there, pull it a little bit so you have room for your hook to go back on. And we're going to go ahead and make our topping. I think what we're going to do for this one is a wild berry Pop-Tart. So I'm going to go grab a purple color and a blue teal color. And we're going to make our wild berry Pop-Tart topping. Now the reason that I'm doing that first before we sew it together is because I'm going to sew it on before we sew the 2 side pieces together. So I'm back. We're going to take the purple and we're going to do slightly smaller than these 2 pieces. So instead of chaining 14, we're going to chain 12. Then we're going to do 10 single crochets along the route there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then, so that's for the topping. Let me write that down. Topping. Slip knot. crochet into second chain from hook. Okay. And instead of 16 rows, we're going to do 14 rows. So, let me make sure I got that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes. All right, so let's see what that looks like. Yeah, give me that back. All right. I am so sorry about that last little clip. I forgot to change the resolution on my camera when I changed out the batteries. So if it lagged at all and you guys missed it, we are going to chain 12 and then single crochet into 10. And we're going to do 14 rows of that. And I'm going to time lapse it for you. All right, so we've got our 14 rows on the outside of our grape-ish color, because that's what the wild berry color is. I'd say it's a grape color. So what we're going to do now is we are going to take our yarn. I'm going to chain 1 just because we're going to need it. And we are going to go around the entire outside of our little frosting here, just to clean up that line. So into each one, or into the side of each one of your single crochets along the side, you're going to do a single crochet just to kind of clean it up. And we're not going to go back over this one that we just finished because it's got a finished edge. It's not going to need it. But down both sides and along the bottom, it just needs a little bit more of a finished edge. So we're going to do that. A single crochet into the side of each one of your single crochets and into the other side of your bottom. So it's just going to make it look cleaner, make it look more refined. And we are going to do that on the other 2 pieces. We're just going to do that together on the other 2 pieces. So, okay, so I grabbed a couple of safety eyes. This is going to be our top, I think. Actually, I think maybe we put the eyes up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick the eyes where I feel like it would be appropriate. Push that all the way through. And then push the back on. All right. Eye number 1. Eye number 2. Perfect. Now we just continue the rest of the way around and we've got our eyes on. Our little Pop-Tart looks a little crazy. He's okay though. Don't forget when you're going your way around here, I'm going to chain 2 at the corners. Then I'm going to tuck my tails in and keep going. All right. And we're going to sew it all the way around till we get to that bottom ledge. Once we get to that bottom ledge, we're going to put our polyfill in and make this guy into the plushie that we love. Now you could theoretically make these out of a bigger yarn and make them big and fluffy and pillowy. Absolutely. If you got some of the Bernat extra plush blanket yarn, oh my gosh. I can only imagine if they had them in the colors that you needed, making it in that, it would be absolutely massive. And I'm here for it. Make pillows, little Poptart pillows. Those would be so cute. Now I'm getting myself some ideas and I'm like, no, don't do it. Don't go buy more yarn. You don't have any money. All right, we're getting to the corner. Chain 2 and go into this side. And I do find that when you're going into the side as opposed to when you're at the top or the bottom, well, at the bottom mostly, it's easier because you kind of have a guide for where your stitch needs to go. At the bottom, you only have the bottom row of the first chain, and that gets kind of hanky when you're trying to sew it together. I don't know. Something about that just makes me meh feel a certain way. Okay. We're almost to this other corner. Once we get to this other corner, we will grab our polyfill and start stuffing this bad boy. Now, this one doesn't require a whole lot of stuffing. I think we're going to give him a smile too. Give me just a second to do that. Where is my polyfill? There it is. We're going to give him a little smile here in a minute, but I'm going to wait to do that. All right. This is going to be way too much polyfill, I'm sure. So I'm just going to like split it in half, stuff it in there. Let's pull this tail out a little bit so we don't have to worry about our hook being there. But we're going to take our polyfill and just kind of shove it in there to make our little guy. Shape him a little bit. Oh, he's so cute. Do we need any more polyfill? Maybe just a pinch of it. Just a pinch more. All right. And you can make him as stuffed as you want or as little as you want. It's all up to you. Now, I'm going to go in and do these last, all right, chain 2 for the corner, and then do these last 12 little single crochet stitches to close this bad boy up. No, my hook came loose. All right, there we are. I find myself like just shoving the polyfill in there a little bit more as I go on because it's starting to kind of squeeze out of my edge line here. I don't care. It's not going to make a big difference. Just shove it back in there and keep it fluffy. All right. Now, I did not, nope, I need to do one more. That right there, boom. Okay. Now you pull your tail out, snip it off, take your yarn needle, put that on there. Take your end of your yarn, shove it through. and then trim it off. And you're good to go. You're done. I am going to put a little smile on this guy. Let me grab a pink. He's got a little bit of tail here that's sticking out. There we go. Let's grab a pink and give him a little mouth. Which is really simple to do, really easy. All right. We don't need too much of this this yarn. I'm just going to take about this much of it. That'll be more than enough for a little mouth on this guy. I am going to put the yarn on the needle, double it up. I am going to tie a knot in it. And I should have put the mouth on there before, but I didn't. So what we're going to do is we are going to go in where we think the mouth should be, pull it all the way through until he pops, that little knot pops in, if we can get it in there. Because like I said, I should have put it on there at first, but shove in there knot. And the knot is going to keep it in place once I get it in there. I just got to get it inside of the stuffed part. Come on. That's what I get for not doing the mouth first. Now I've made it too tight. All right, don't come back out. There we go. Dang it. All right, there's a good spot for it to go in at. There we go. So then I'm going to come back in with, on the same little area, then I'm going to take my little needle, come through where this blue is, just because that's where I want to put it. And we are going to loop it through like this. And then push it out the bottom and pull it tight. And there's our little V-shaped mouth. He's cute. I'm going to pull him a little looser to kind of make it look more like a smile and more like lips than a V. But snip it off, pull until it's back in there, and there you have it. And there we have our little Pop-Tart. If he's not completely square or completely rectangular the way you want him, you can just kind of pull him a little bit until he is the perfect shape. And look at the little smile. Isn't he cute? I think he's precious. So if you like our little Pop-Tart guy and you want to make more like him, like and subscribe. Let me know how you did in the comments, if you liked it, if you did it. Don't forget to check us out and continue to follow for more little cute guys like this. I love him with the little eyes. He just looks so cute and creepy. So yeah, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Now in the corner down here, I'm going to do I'm going to do one single crochet, then I'm going to chain two, just to kind of give us a little bit of a corner there. And then back into the same one, and then find your little loops. And I'm tucking my tail in on this corner as I go. That way I don't have to sew it in later. All right, so we tuck that tail in as we go underneath our little crochet piece. And then when we get down to this other corner, we're going to do that chain two again, just to give us that little corner. And it kind of rounds it off a little bit, to be honest with you, so you don't have like a square. But I like the way that it works out on these. All right. And down the side. This is also going to give us a surface to sew on our piece, because it's easier to kind of sew into the back loop of this guy to get him sewn onto here. I feel like it just gives you like a cleaner surface to do that with. All right, this should be my last little stitch. And I'm going to pull a very long tail because we're going to use our tail to sew it onto the Pop-Tart itself. My sleeves are falling off. All right, so we have our little tail, and we are going to thread it through our crochet needle. I think I'm going to use the big crochet needle because it's easier to get my yarn in there. All right. Got our yarn on our crochet needle. We're going to line it up with our little Pop-Tart guy here. And we are just going to sew through the loop in the back there along this Pop-Tart. Now, if you're doing one that has sprinkles, you can put the sprinkles on before or after you put it on here. Does not matter. And the sprinkles really just kind of go on in any direction that you want them to. For this one, we are going to top crochet chains to make our little swirlies for our turquoise color. All right. See how that gives your, or that little back loop gives you an easy surface to kind of sew that on there into that piece. Now try not to get these ends on there because we are going to be using this to put these two together. So now we should have an extra stitch on either side as we go down, like an extra little width there for us to connect our Pop-Tarts together. So keep that in mind. That's why we did the chain 12 instead of chain 14, and we only did 14 rows instead of 16 rows on our frosting level. So I'm just gonna keep sewing that on there using our tail. That's why I said make sure you leave yourself a very long tail to sew this frosting on here. And it's so cute, these little Pop-Tarts, toaster pastries, whatever you want to call them, are precious. I love them. And when I say at markets they sell like hotcakes to kids, kids absolutely love them. I think I actually sold a lot to the military guys too on the base when I did KeeslerCon in Mississippi. Those guys like their Pop-Tarts too. The young guys that are just going to school. When I worked that event and had a table. So if you're looking to make something that's going to sell really well at a market, these Pop-Tarts do very well, especially if you sell them for like $15 or 2 for $20 or something like that. They do take a little while longer to make than I would want for selling them at that price, but you know, you got to give yourself pay for your hours that you put into this stuff if you're going to sell it. Otherwise, these make extremely cute gifts for kids. My sister-in-law's niece, her sister's daughter, I gave her one because she was at the con with us at KeeslerCon, and I gave her one, and she dressed it up in her imperial hat and stuff because she's one of the her grandfather and her father are part of the 501st. So she put it in her trooper hat and all that stuff. It was so cute. And she took it around everywhere with her. When they were doing photo ops and stuff with the 501st, there was randomly a Poptart just in it. And it was precious. I loved it, and I thought that was the cutest thing. All right, we're almost to the end. We're almost done with this. So I am going to show you what to do from there. All right. So once you get your frosting sewn on, I just take my yarn and I run it through the back and run it under in between the two layers. Bring it out, snip it off a little bit close, and then pull it, and then you don't have to worry about your yarn fraying or coming loose. So there we have our front of our Poptart, except for our blue. What I'm going to do with the blue is I'm going to stick my hook through here, grab a hold of my little turquoise, I'm going to poke through here. How am I going to do that? I know what I'm going to do. All right, we're going to stick through here. We're going to pull one end down in there with our yarn needle. Then I'm going to go in right here, grab a hold of it, pull it through, go back to that spot, and do like a top stitch, just a simple little slip stitch. Then I'm going to start going along the side here, and in a random direction, I'm going to slip stitch my yarn through the top of the Poptart, just in a random pattern, because it's supposed to look like a frosting like piece that just kind of goes along there. So we're going to zigzag it along as we go to kind of resemble that frosting. Now, this is harder than the sprinkles, because the sprinkles, all you have to do is find a variegated yarn that's multicolored and just go along and put throw random little lines through to look like sprinkles. But with this one, I like this, the way that this looks. The wild berry Pop-Tarts are my favorite anyway, so and I'm just stitching along, finding a little loop, putting my hook through the loop, and pulling the yarn through. What did I do there? Oh, I made a double loop on accident. All right, go to the next little section and top stitch it however you want. Honestly, it doesn't have to look perfect. It just needs to look cute. And that's what we do here. We just do cute. All right, slip stitching through there the whole way around the Pop-Tart. And you could theoretically do this before you put it on the actual pastry part of the Pop-Tart if you want to. That'd probably be easier than what I'm doing right now. But Yeah, I didn't think about that until after I started. So, and the decorations and embellishments, they are just whatever you want them to be, because no two Pop-Tarts are the same. And I'll show you what I mean on a couple of other ones that I've made already. Quit grabbing the purple yarn. Trying to go back. There we go. That'll work this time. Let go of my hook. There we go. All right. And on the Wild Berry ones, if you notice, it just does like a Z on there. I don't know why they do that with the frosting, but that's what we're doing. It's making our little Z in frosting with a top crochet. All right, and that's my last little bit. I'm going to also like cut that off, put it on the yarn needle, just like we did with the purple. We're just going to put it on the yarn needle, stick it in between the two layers of this little Pop-Tart, and run it through to the other end and trim it off. Now, time to finish the Pop-Tart. So we're going to take our piece that has the little loop on it still. We're going to put it up against our other piece of crust, and we are going to go around the outside of the Pop-Tart with single crochets. So we're going to start in this corner here. We're going to go through both pieces of our outside, and I'm tucking my tail in between the two layers, and we're single crocheting those together. Go through both layers, single crochet. This is going to give you a clean line on the outside, as well as combine your two pieces together and give you a way to stuff it to put in your polyfill. So this doesn't take very long at all, just going around it, just like we did with the purple. And, oh, I didn't put safety eyes on. Oh no, hang on. Let me go get the safety eyes before we get to the corner, so we can put the safety eyes on before we sew it all the way up. So let me run grab those, and once I get to the corner here, we'll go grab the safety eyes and we'll put them on as well. All right, now we're at the corner. And there we have our little Pop-Tart. If he's not completely square or completely rectangular the way you want him, you can just kind of pull him a little bit until he is the perfect shape. And look at the little smile. Isn't he cute? I think he's precious. So if you like our little Pop-Tart guy and you want to make more like him, like and subscribe. Let me know how you did in the comments, if you liked it, if you did it. Don't forget to check us out and continue to follow for more little cute guys like this. I love him with the little eyes. He just looks so cute and creepy. So yeah, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.